Hi class, this is Dr. Dilmar. I am going to actually give you 4 shorter videos today, and I'm going to do them by topic. That way, if there's a particular topic you know that you would like to watch and pause and follow along with the steps, it's a little bit easier for you to go directly to that content. So what is the first topic that we are going to cover today? It's absolute value, as you see at the top of your screen. So I typed these out in a Word document because I'm actually going to drop these documents for you. I did want to mention that the assignment that's associated with watching these videos, the answer is not going to be within the Word document itself. I'm going to verbally give you that answer, and that way when a person couldn't bypass the video and then take the assignment, if that makes sense. You really have to listen to the video in order to get the answer. So stay tuned for the end of the video for absolute value to get the answer to the question that's associated with this video. I'll just show you a couple real quickly what the other videos are going to be on. If you can see at the bottom of my screen, there's going to be some general math notes, algebraic expression notes, and simplifying expressions with integer exponents. So those are the other topics that we're going to cover today. But the first video here is absolute value, and we're going to go ahead and hop in. Make sure you keep watching and stay tuned for the answer to that question on the assignment. So I'm not going to read to you, but I'm going to show you what kind of value is here in the lecture notes and how you can use this note to be successful. So first imagine that you're trying to find out how far a number is from 0 on a basic number line. So if you could stop for a minute and visualize what you think a number line looks like. And then once you think about that and where the number 0 is on the number line, then think about numbers that go to the right and to the left or up or down in a positive or negative manner. So hopefully you have a good visualization for the number line and where you find the number 0. So what is absolute value? Absolute value of the number is its distance from 0. So absolute value isn't necessarily the number, but the distance that the number is from 0. A distance, if you think about you walking a distance, right, or throwing something for a distance, it's forward and it's always positive. So whether a number is positive or negative, it's always going to be an absolute value that's positive. Of course, then 0 is 0 if that's the number. So absolute value in its simplest term is a positive number, and it's how far it is from 0. So kind of remember that in your head, positive. So one thing I will kind of share with you is a lot of times math it's its own vocabulary. It's like its own language. And so what I will do a lot with on my notes is helping you focus on the academic vocabulary, so the actual academics of the math vocabulary, which will help you be more fluent in the language of math. So I know a lot of things you might not necessarily memorize as you take algebra and move on in your life and career. However, we want to build some foundational knowledge that helps you be a little bit more fluent and helps you connect to information when you do need it. I know sometimes students will say, well, I could just Google the answer or ask AI. Well, that's great if you just want the answer to something. However, if you really want to build your foundational knowledge and build fluency, which makes you a stronger employee, manager, business owner, it makes you stronger at your craft and art, then that's what you want to, that's kind of your intrinsic motivation, right, for being in tune to the lecture notes and the material in this class. So it's not just about you passing the class, it's about building those skills that you can transfer to the healthcare field. Okay, so the absolute value equation, let's get back to the math academic terminology. Speaking of that, that's the absolute value equation, right? So you notice that we added the word equation. It's an equation where the variables, like x, for example, you see letters a lot of times, maybe a or b or x or y. In this case, it's x. The absolute value equation is the equation where the variable, such as the x, is inside absolute value bars. And so you notice it's bars and not parentheses. And so do you see that there's a bar here and a bar here then you've got your x, and it equals 3. So what this means, this is a sentence. So just like math is a language, and we're building fluency, and we're building your vocabulary, you're also learning to speak in math sentences. And so the absolute value equation is the equation or the sentence where the variable is inside the bars. So what this means is that the number x, whatever the absolute value here of x, or what this number is 3 units away from 0. So what number is 3 units away from 0? So x could equal 3 or negative 3. Aha, did that trip you up? Were you thinking, well, of course it's 3. If it's 3 units away from 0, it has to be 3, right? But remember, the absolute value is always positive, but the number could be negative or positive, okay? So the number could be negative or positive, but the absolute value, which is in the bars, that's the language, right? So this is the language of math with the bars is absolute value, is 3. So either negative 3 or 3 could be the number, which means that either one could be a possibility. So can we solve for both possibilities? So you'll see here that I've typed out the steps for you, and then you can solve for both possibilities. Now in this example, we're just going to use the number 4, okay? So absolute value of x equals 4, which means x could be 4 or x could be negative 4. And that's it. That's exactly how you find absolute value. Was it one singular number that was the answer? No, because sometimes in math, it's not just about an answer or a number, it's about coming up with the solution. So in math, our terminology or our vocabulary word is the solution. So you're looking for the solution to the sentence, absolute value equals 4, and the solution is that x equals 4 or x equals negative 4. It's not just one number. So always be careful that you read the instructions very carefully, because sometimes people will drive themselves crazy in math looking for that one singular answer, and that's not always what your instructions are telling you to do. One quick tip that I do want to share with you, actually there's 2 tips, is that I always like to print things out. The older I get, the more visual I get, and I'm a very tangible person, so I like to, yes, listening to notes is great, but I like to print things and have a math notebook. This is very common in K through 12, and I think helpful at the college or university level for students, because when you print these types of things out, it helps you when you want to go back to and revisit the information if you're solving some equations, because it's not necessarily about memorizing this, it's about organizing the information and again about building that foundational knowledge. So I really suggest that you all set up a math notebook, print things out if you're able, and that way you can write on it, highlight, and you can have it physically in your hand. The other great thing about having a math notebook, is particularly in this class, is that it's like if you're on your computer screen, right, you only have that one screen unless you have the nice, happy occurrence to have several computer screens in your home office or at your work where you're doing these videos and stuff. And so if you're only on one screen and you're solving problems, so say you're doing a quiz or an assignment and you want to use your notes, it's very hard to toggle between the notes and the assignment. And so if you have a tangible hard copy math notebook, then you can have that out in front of you while you're doing your material online on the screen. All right, one more last tip. There's something called Khan Academy. And this is a very widely known resource across all of K through 12 and college and university level learning. Khan Academy is an online bank of practice quizzes, short videos, pretty much anything you can think of in math, it's on Khan Academy. And the greatest thing about it is that Googling it is super easy and it takes you right to the topic. So for example, if you were wanting another video on absolute value, you could Google Khan Academy absolute value, and videos and practice assignments and different tutorials will pop up. Of course, you have tutorials built inside of the McGraw-Hill ALEKS assignments online. So your online ALEKS portal where you go to do assignments and quizzes also has the textbook. It's like an online book, and there's certainly resources there for you. But if you do want some additional videos that's very easy to watch and pause, like you could watch a couple of steps and then pause and then maybe work on your computer and then do some more, Khan Academy is a superbly great resource that many teachers and students across the world use. So you just put Khan Academy and you put whatever the math concept is that you're struggling with or you want some extra support with, and you Google that. Alrighty, well, I've already given you 2 of the answers on the assignment, and so I hope you enjoyed this video and that it helps you with absolute value, and I'll be sure to save this Word document and upload it for you as well. The next couple of videos will be out here shortly. Remember that those topics are algebraic expressions, simplifying expressions with integer exponents, and then some just general math notes. And I'll get those videos posted for you. Have a great day.